Let me ask you something. Have you ever been wide awake at 2 a.m. with your heart racing and you don't even know why? Have you ever smiled in a meeting, held it together, while inside your chest felt like it was caving in? If you've ever felt like you're drowning in thoughts that won't shut off, like you're carrying a weight you can't explain, you're not broken, you are not alone, and you are not powerless. You see, most people think anxiety is a curse, but I'm here to tell you it's not. It's a signal. And when you learn how to decode that signal, when you learn this one mind trick I'm about to share, your entire life can change. Not temporarily, not for a few days, but permanently, at the core level. So if you've tried therapy, breathing apps, or just pretending you're fine and nothing seems to stick, lean in, because what I'm about to share with you isn't theory. It's transformation. And if you stay with me to the end of this speech, you'll walk away with a tool so powerful, you'll wonder why no one ever taught it to you before. Let's begin. You know, one of the biggest misconceptions about anxiety is that it's this enemy inside us, a monster we have to fight or hide from. But what if I told you anxiety isn't your enemy at all? What if anxiety is actually a messenger, a signal that's trying to tell you something important about your life? Most people try to shove anxiety down, push it away, or numb it out because it feels uncomfortable, scary, overwhelming. But that's like trying to ignore the smoke alarm when your house is on fire. The alarm is not the problem. The alarm is trying to save you. Anxiety is your body and mind's way of telling you there's something in your life that needs your attention. It's a form of communication from your deepest self saying, hey, slow down, pay attention. Something's out of balance. When you start seeing anxiety this way, you take the first powerful step toward mastering it. You stop being a victim of your feelings and start becoming an observer, a student learning a vital lesson. And here's the mind trick that changes everything. Instead of resisting anxiety, start welcoming it. Don't fight the sensation. Don't run from it. Don't try to control it immediately. Feel it fully. Notice where it lives in your body. Is it tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, shallow breaths? When you stop struggling, you actually weaken anxiety's power over you. This shift from resistance to acceptance rewires your brain. It rewires your nervous system. Your body stops amplifying the fear and starts calming down. You show yourself that you can sit with discomfort without breaking down. And that's where freedom begins. Because here's the truth. You cannot control every thought, every feeling, every unexpected twist life throws at you. But you can control how you respond. The difference between someone trapped by anxiety and someone who thrives despite it is in the way they interpret the message anxiety brings. When anxiety shows up, ask yourself, what is this trying to tell me? Maybe it's a signal that you're burnt out, overcommitted, or neglecting something important, like rest, connection, or your own values. Maybe it's a sign that you're afraid of something that's about to challenge you. But that challenge is exactly where growth lives. This is not about pretending anxiety doesn't hurt or disappear. It's about understanding its role in your life story and choosing to rewrite that story with awareness and courage. So the next time you feel that wave of anxiety rising, don't immediately push it away. Lean into it. Invite it to speak. Because when you truly listen, you take away its power to control you. And you begin to harness its energy to move forward stronger and wiser. This simple shift from fear to curiosity, from resistance to acceptance, sets the stage for every other breakthrough you'll make. And it all starts with one choice: to stop fighting and start listening. One of the most dangerous traps anxiety sets for you is this. It pulls your mind into a future that doesn't exist yet. It keeps you spinning in a cycle of what ifs. What if I fail? What if something terrible happens? What if I can't handle it? Your brain becomes a playground for every worst case scenario you can imagine. And here's the kicker. Your body reacts to those imagined fears as if they're real. Your heart races, your breath shortens, your muscles tighten, and your mind races even faster. But here's what most people don't realize. All those what-if stories are just that. Stories. They're not facts. They're possibilities, sure, but possibilities don't have power unless you give it to them. Anxiety feeds on uncertainty and the unknown future. And when you let your mind stay trapped in that realm, you feed the fire. You create a reality for yourself that's not happening now, but feels terrifyingly real. So here's the mind trick that will change everything. Shift your focus from what if to what is. Ground yourself in the present moment. This is where your power lives. Not in the imagined future, but in the here and now. Because the truth is, when you step back and ask yourself what's actually happening right now, you often find the fear has less to do with the present than it does with your projections. It's like a movie projector in your mind, showing you scenes of disaster before they even happen. But the projector is not reality. It's just an image on the wall, and you have the power to turn it off. The power to do this lies in mindful awareness. When anxiety hits, stop and ask, what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? What's really happening in this moment? Breathe deeply. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the air filling your lungs. This simple act of presence begins to quiet the chaos in your mind. It reminds your nervous system that you're not in immediate danger, that this moment is safe. And the more you practice this, the more your brain rewires itself. It learns that the future is uncertain, but the present is manageable. You develop a muscle of presence, a powerful resilience that anxiety cannot erode. This doesn't mean the anxious thoughts will vanish overnight. They might still come knocking. But instead of being swept away by them, you'll start to meet them with curiosity and calm. You'll say, thank you for the thought, but I'm focusing on what's real right now. Imagine what this does to your energy, your focus, your life. Anxiety loses its grip when you refuse to live in a future you haven't yet earned. You reclaim your power by stepping into the moment, by choosing presence over panic. Remember, the present is the only place where life actually happens, the only place where you can take action, make decisions, and change your story. So when you catch yourself spiraling into the what-ifs, pull yourself back. Ground yourself in the now. This simple shift is your anchor. It's the key to breaking free from anxiety's hold. You see, anxiety has a way of trapping you in loops. Mental loops, emotional loops, physiological loops that keep spinning around and around. It's like your brain gets stuck playing the same scary song on repeat, and every time it comes back to the start, the fear feels louder, stronger, more overwhelming. The problem isn't just the thoughts or feelings themselves, it's the pattern they create. Your brain is wired to follow habits, routines, and repeated signals. So when anxiety shows up, it triggers a pattern, and the brain just keeps running it. But here's the incredible truth. If you can interrupt that pattern, you can break free from the cycle. You can stop the downward spiral before it gains momentum. That's where the power of a pattern interrupt comes in. It's a mind trick so simple yet so profound that it changes your entire state in an instant. When you feel anxiety rising, the heart pounding, the breath quickening, the mind racing, don't wait for it to overwhelm you. Instead, act immediately. Change your physiology. Do something completely unexpected. It could be as simple as standing up suddenly, clapping your hands loudly, snapping your fingers, or even shouting out a word like stop or change. The goal is to create a sharp, sudden break in the rhythm your brain is following. Why does this work? Because your nervous system responds instantly to physical cues. When you change your body's movement or sound, it sends a new message to your brain. Something different is happening now. Your brain has to pause, recalibrate, and reorient. This pause disrupts the anxiety loop and gives you a moment to choose a different response. you're not just distracting yourself. You're reprogramming your brain's response to fear. The more you use pattern interrupts, the more you train your nervous system to recognize that anxiety doesn't have to control you. You build a new habit, a new automatic reaction that pulls you out of fear and into control. This is powerful because anxiety often feels uncontrollable precisely because it operates on autopilot. Your brain is running a program without your conscious permission. But when you learn to insert these pattern interrupts, you regain the steering wheel. And here's what makes this even more transformative. Once you've interrupted the pattern, you can consciously choose what comes next. You can breathe deeply. You can remind yourself of the truth in the moment. You can visualize calm, focus, and strength. You're creating a new pattern, one that leads you toward confidence and peace instead of panic. The real magic happens when you start using these pattern interrupts as soon as you sense anxiety rising, not after it's already taken over. It's like catching a small fire before it becomes a wildfire. It keeps your nervous system flexible, adaptable, and resilient. So next time anxiety comes knocking, don't just suffer through it, interrupt the cycle. Shock your system awake. Take control. Because when you change the pattern, you change the outcome. Your brain is a powerful movie theater. Every day, it plays a constant stream of stories, images, and scenarios in your mind. And the quality of those mental movies shapes how you feel, how you act, and ultimately who you become. Now, when anxiety takes over, most people don't realize they're watching the wrong film. They're stuck watching the same terrifying, hopeless, what-if disaster reel, and their nervous system reacts as if it's real life. But here's the game changer. You are the director of that movie. You get to choose what story you tell. You get to change the script, the characters, the outcome. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful mind tricks you'll ever learn. When anxiety has you locked in, it's feeding off the fear-based story playing in your head. You're imagining every possible negative outcome. What if I mess up? What if I lose control? What if things fall apart? These mental movies light up the same parts of your brain that real experiences do, which means your body responds with genuine stress, tension, and fear. Now imagine instead that you consciously create a new movie, one where you're calm, confident, and in control. Imagine playing that movie over and over in your mind until your nervous system starts to believe it's your reality. Because here's the truth. Your brain doesn't distinguish much between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience. When you imagine success, confidence, and calmness with rich detail and emotion, your brain starts wiring itself toward those states. This is more than just positive thinking. It's a deliberate, focused act of mental rehearsal. Athletes do this all the time. They visualize every move, every play, every success before they step on the field. Actors rehearse their lines and emotions in their minds before they perform. And you can do this with your anxiety, rewiring your brain to expect a calm, confident outcome instead of a fearful one. Start by closing your eyes and creating a mental scene where you face a situation that usually triggers your anxiety. See yourself handling it with ease. Feel the confidence radiating from your posture, your voice, your breath. Hear yourself speaking calmly, clearly, and with assurance. Feel the relief and pride swelling inside you as you navigate the moment effortlessly. Practice this movie daily. Not once or twice, but repeatedly, because repetition rewires your brain. As you feed your mind these new movies, your nervous system starts to respond differently. Instead of tensing up and panicking, it begins to relax. Instead of rushing to protect you from danger, it learns that you're capable of handling the challenge. This isn't about denying your fear or pretending everything is perfect. It's about consciously choosing the story you tell yourself. Choosing the scenes that empower you rather than drain you. Remember, your brain is designed to learn and adapt. The more you replay your new movie of strength and calm, the more it becomes your default. Anxiety loses its grip because you're no longer living in the fear-based story. You're directing a new narrative, one where you are in control, resilient, and powerful. Anxiety can feel like a wild animal inside you, unpredictable, chaotic, and exhausting. If you don't give it a job, it will take one for itself. Left to its own devices, anxiety will run rampant, creating stories and scenarios that keep you stuck, scared, and overwhelmed. But here's the breakthrough. What if you gave your anxiety a purpose? What if instead of fighting it, you harnessed its energy and redirected it towards something productive? Think about it this way. Energy is energy. The anxious energy coursing through your body doesn't have to be wasted on fear and worry. You can channel it into preparation, creativity, or resilience. Anxiety is like a raw force waiting to be shaped. When you give it direction, it transforms from a source of chaos into a source of power. Let's say you have a big presentation coming up and anxiety floods your mind. Instead of letting it spiral into panic, assign that energy a job. Tell yourself, this anxiety is my signal to prepare thoroughly. It's the fuel I need to focus and practice. When you do that, suddenly the nervousness becomes an ally instead of an enemy. It sharpens your senses, heightens your alertness, and pushes you to get ready. This isn't just theory, it's practical, actionable psychology. You're taking control of your internal dialogue and changing the meaning behind your feelings. The anxiety doesn't disappear, but it stops controlling you. Instead, you're using it to propel yourself forward. Creativity works the same way. Many artists, writers, and innovators have discovered that their anxious moments are the sparks that ignite their best ideas. When you learn to harness that tension and channel it into creative expression, you give your anxiety a constructive outlet. Suddenly, the energy that once felt overwhelming becomes a wellspring of inspiration. Resilience is another powerful purpose you can give anxiety. Anxiety is a signal that you care deeply about something, that you want to protect yourself or those you love. Instead of shrinking from that feeling, step into it with courage. Use that energy to build mental toughness, to say, I feel this fear, but I'm still going to move forward. This is about ownership. Owning your anxiety means you're no longer at its mercy. You're not waiting for it to subside or hoping it will magically disappear. Instead, you acknowledge it, honor it, and assign it a meaningful role in your life. When you do this consistently, anxiety loses its power to paralyze you. It becomes a signal light, warning you, guiding you, and energizing you. You're no longer fighting a battle you can't win. You're mastering the energy that's inside you. So next time anxiety hits, instead of trying to push it away or hide from it, ask yourself, what job can I give this feeling right now? How can I turn this raw energy into something useful? When you answer that, you shift from victim to victor.